today's self-care tip. I am Irene Joroge, and today we're going to talk about facial treatments and how they relate to your self-care. A facial is a very interesting way to give yourself care and to pamper yourself. It is very good for the skin because it deep cleanses your skin, you feel pampered, and at the same time it treats congested skin in case you have oiliness or any kind of problem. It is also good as an age management. Today's treatment is called a hydrofacial, and this is a specialized facial treatment that is usually used to treat problem skin, congested skin, maybe oiliness, and even if you have acne. It is also considered a first-line treatment for anti-aging. Now, the hydrofacial takes into account the kind of acne that a person has. It is also ideal as a pampering treatment. The hydrofacial deep cleanses and exfoliates the skin using this special suction tube. It is a computerized treatment that helps to decongest acne and oily skin issues. After the exfoliation, which means removal of dead skin, this next stage is what is called the chemical peel, which uses a glycolic acid in a gentle way to peel the skin, which is part of the healing treatment. This is the application of LED light, which is used to help stimulate collagen within the skin. That has been today's self-care tip.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email newsroom@kbc.co.ke, call 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124.
All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority on or before November 1st, 2021. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.holders.ufaa.go.ke and get started. Beat the November 1st, 2021 deadline. It's your turn. Pass the baton. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Indeed, a very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us. This is Easy Friday on this, the 22nd day of October 2021. My name is John Kago. Many thanks for making time to watch Easy Friday. Tonight, I'm riding solo, at least for the first part of the bulletin, because Spotlight is on a bit later with Shiksha Arora. I'll tell you what she'll be handling later. So, but first things first, some of the stories we're handling for you tonight. A family tonight is in mourning. They've lost a son. Reason? Some boys decided to storm a girls' school. Now the boy was beaten to death. What's happening to our boys? That's a story we're looking at tonight, a sad one. at that. The political drum beats are on. The Deputy President William Ruto is in Kakamega, rather was in Kakamega today, seeking your vote. The ODM party leader Raila Odinga was in Gusii land. We are looking at that in not too long. Business a bit later. I'll be taking you through sports as well. And as I mentioned, in the spotlight tonight, Shiksha Arora speaks to Miss World Kenya 2021 Sharon Obara. Now, she will be competing for the Miss World crown later in December, so it's a whole packaged Easy Friday for you. But first things first, before we delve into the comprehensive coverage, these are the highlights.
Niambia tu mtoto wangu alitoka akarudi shule na nikamake sure amerudi shule. Waniambia wakati niwapelekea mtoto alitoka shule aje.
Security in schools. Break in by boys into girls' school turns tragic. Glimmer of hope. Court gives go-ahead for Anne Kananu's oath of office. And no break. Deputy President William Ruto and ODM party leader intensify early campaigns.
A warm welcome back. My name is John Kago. Our sign language interpreter is Susan Thuku. We are starting on a sad note tonight. Now, a post-mortem conducted by pathologist Dr. Eunice Nugweni on the body of Brian Mbage Maina, a Form 4 candidate at Gavitoine Secondary School in Githunguri, who was allegedly murdered at Komodhai Girls, reveals that the cause of the death was head injuries due to a blunt object, rather blunt force trauma consistent with assaults. Now, Mbage's family, who received the report, has called for justice for their son.
Brian Mbage was allegedly in the company of 6 boys from Gathiruini Secondary School in Githunguri, Kiambu County, who had raided a girls' dormitory at the nearby Komodhai Girls' Secondary School on Wednesday night. Githunguri Sub-County Deputy Police Commander George Kipkoros said the girls raised an alarm prompting the boys to flee. Mbage wasn't lucky, however, was subjected to mob justice.
And in conjunction with the Ministry of Education officials, we are in working together with them to see that our schools are safe.
The sad news of his sudden demise shocked his family.
The truth.
The sad news of his sudden demise shocked his family.
Swali yangu ni moja tu. Mtoto juu nilimpeleka shule na kuna security kwa shule, alisneak aje shule. Then after that, kwenda hata uko kwa girls, alienda aje. Na wenye walimpiga juu sijajua, walimuuliza nini, na alikuwa na uniform, walimuuliza nini. So I wished for the school to give me the whole information about what happened to my son.
The family wants justice for their 17-year-old son who was about to clear his secondary school education.
Niambia tu mtoto wangu alitoka akarudi shule na nikamake sure amerudi shule. Waniambia wakati niwapelekea mtoto alitoka shule aje.
Kitu naweza omba sana ni upelelezi ifanywe very fast, ili na sisi tulidhike na hiyo maneno.
Watu wote wenye ametajwa kwa hiyo kesi anavaa kuwa ndani by now, so that ndiye asianze kuinterview na evidence ya hii kesi. Hiyo ndio kilio changu, na I think hiyo ndio kilio cha familia.
Police said investigations into the killing are underway. A post-mortem results indicate that he died of excessive bleeding from head injuries inflicted by blunt objects.
That we cannot condone such incidences, and the school aides and administration should carve or should contain the boys or the girls and their schools and be in charge of the administration of the school.
Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Easy Friday.
Thank you, Beatrice. Now, 3 police officers have been charged with aiding the escape of self-confessed serial killer Masten Wanjala. Now, Philip Mbithi, Kamakia Mutuma and Precious Mwende pleaded not guilty and were granted a cash bail of 150,000 shillings. Elsewhere, acting Nairobi Governor Anne Kananu can now be sworn in as the governor after her predecessor Mike Sonko lost an application seeking to bar her from doing so.
The 3 police officers, Philip Mbithi, Kamakia Motuma and Precious Mwende, were accused of neglecting official duties and aiding the escape of prisoner Masten Wanjala, a self-confessed serial killer. The trio are alleged to have committed the crime on the night of the 12th and 13th of October 2021 at Jago Road Police Station in Nairobi County. They deny the charges before Senior Principal Magistrate Bane Duchoi and were granted a bond of 300,000 Kenyan shillings and a surety of the same amount, or an alternative cash bail of 150,000 Kenyan shillings. The case will now be mentioned on the 4th of November. Elsewhere, former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko's application to stop the swearing-in of Anne Kananu as the county governor has been dismissed. The court ruled that Sonko had been out of office for more than 10 months and is no longer Nairobi governor. Therefore, this now paves the way for the acting governor, Anne Kananu, to be sworn in as the Nairobi governor. However, if it's determined that his political rights were violated, Sonko will then be paid damages. For Easy Friday, I'm Serafina Robi.
Deputy President William Ruto has asked his competitors not to involve President Uhuru Kenyatta in their aspirations, but to allow him to serve Kenyans. Ruto says former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the One Kenya Alliance should live up to the reality that they will face him in next year's general election.
The Deputy President was in Kakamega County Friday. He accused the opposition of angling for President Kenyatta's endorsement. Ruto called on the former NASA principals to allow the president to work for the millions of people who elected him.
Hawa wadosi wote mimi nataka niwaambie wawache kusumbua Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta sisi ndio tulimsaidia akakuwa rais. Saa hii wanamzunguka sijui tupange. Wawache Uhuru Kenyatta, wanashindana na mimi, hawashindani na Uhuru Kenyatta. Wakuje, they must face me.
We are telling Gideon Moi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi, Raila Odinga, time is running out. Whether you come as a group or as an individual, the Hustler Nation is waiting for you at the ballot.
Ruto says the leaders have no plans and agenda for the country. The reason they were hanging around President Kenyatta for direction and support.
Si mwingine alikuwa prime minister, si mwingine alikuwa deputy prime minister, si mwingine alikuwa naibu wa rais, lakini hawana chochote wanaweza kuonyesha wamesaidia Kakamega hii. Sasa wewe umekuwa na nafasi ya uongozi miaka hii yote, huna hata alama kidogo ya kuonyesha uongozi yako. Wewe unakuja kuuliza rais, kwani rais ni urembo?
Leaders accompanying the deputy president rallied the region behind his presidential bid, saying he would initiate policies to aid the economy of Western Kenya.
Mahasla wote hawa ambao wako nyuma yako wanataka ile mfumo yao ya bottom up ikuwe implemented.
John Jacob Kuria, Easy Friday.
Still staying with politics, ODM leader Raila Odinga has revealed that it took the intervention of President Uhuru Kenyatta for him not to be charged with treason for his mock swearing-in ceremony after the disputed presidential poll in 2017. Speaking in Nyamira, Raila said President Uhuru Kenyatta put aside all their political differences and sought a lasting solution to the political acrimony that rocked the country each election cycle. Achola Simon has more details.
As In yet another revelation of the intrigue surrounding his swearing in as the People's President to protest President Uhuru Kenyatta's victory in the 2017 presidential race, ODM leader Raila Odinga said he took the president's intervention to get away with an act deemed treasonable.
When the country was totally torn, people had drawn different maps of the country. They dismembered the country. There was a United People's Republic of Kenya, and then the Republic of Kenya. Kasema sasa tuchome pesa yote ya rais, alafu tuanze kutoza ushuru tuendelee mambo yetu kupande yetu. I said no, that will take this country to Somalia. President aliambiwa Raila amefanya treason, tumshtaki, tumpeleke makamiti, tumnyonge, mambo ishe. Akasema no, that will take this country to Somalia.
Raila said it was against this backdrop that he and President Uhuru Kenyatta put aside their political differences to forge a political handshake that pacified the nation.
Alafu tukakutana. And we said that Kenya is greater than all of us. And that is the meaning of the handshake. That we shake hands to unite Kenya. So this is what I want to do.
Raila steered off his presidential ambition in his speech even after Interior CS Fred Matiang'i pledged his support in that quest.
Because tomorrow, if you see me doing something different, mujue sasa iko shida, muende kutafuta watu wa kusaidia, mtu yetu amekuwa namna nyingine. Mwanjire mmekubaliana na mimi that mimi nikae mahali president yako na baba. Koroko boko hii.
So akisema handshake yake na Raila italeta amani, ilete maendeleo, sisi na ndugu Fred, ndugu Mutahi Kagwe hapa kama watu wake wa mkono tunaunga mkono.
Sababu siasa ni local, wakisiwa nasema hawajamalizana na mzee Raila. Hatujamalizana na mzee Raila. Tungependa tumalizane na yeye awe rais wa 5 ndio tuachane na yeye tuende kufanya vitu zingine.
Speaking in Kisii dialect, Matiang'i said he was advised to relinquish his political ambitions in favor of a more seasoned politician to steer the country to prosperity.
It is doable, but it's not doable when you have got people who believe in what you believe in. And that's why I'm saying we are going to work together. We need to unite the people of the country because this country has got a great potential. You can realize the Kenyan dream as coined by our founding fathers.
The leader spoke during a funds drive at Mongori Secondary School in Nyamira County. Achola Simon, Easy Friday, Nyamira County.
Now, Kenya has recorded 124 new cases of COVID-19 from a sample size of 7,356 tested in the last 24 hours. The new figures represent a 1.7% positivity rate. Now, total confirmed cases are 252,499, while cumulatively the tests done so far are slightly over 2.6 million. Now, 6 patients have succumbed to the disease, all of them being late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits in the months of August, September and October 2021. Now, this now pushes the cumulative deaths to 5,249. Now, until today, 4.8 million vaccines have been administered across the country. Globally, 242.6 million people have been infected. This is according to data from Johns Hopkins University. All right, now let's still stay with a bit of politics. Now, politics took center stage during the issuance of title deeds at the Mwahima grounds in Likoni, Mombasa County. Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho was at the same time appealing to candidates to shun divisive politics as early campaigns intensify.
Albert Mabinda Ambila. At the Mwahima grounds, Likoni constituency, Lands PS Charles Hinga issued title deeds to the Likoni 203 residents. Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho, who accompanied the PS, lauded the move. As the 2022 elections draw close, the local leaders did not shy from drumming support for the ODM party leader Raila Odinga presidential bid.
William Ruto ana bahati, mpinzani wake ni baba. Baba ni mtu wa heshima, anaongea na heshima. Lao ningekuwa ni mimi, 1 for 1 angekoma my friend. Na wakiishia nyinyi vijana wa Mombasa na vijana wa taifa lote la Kenya, mimi nitaingia katika serikali ijayo na nisimamie haki na matendo mazuri ya kubadilisha maisha ya kijana wa Mkenya, na wakileta noma nitawaletea nini? Noma.
Tumekubaliana na sisi tumuunga mkono Raila Amolo Odinga kwa yale mambo ambayo yeye ana mpango wa siku za baadaye.
Joho maintains the region's loyalty to the ODM leader over the years will bear fruits this time round, calling on leaders to shun divisive politics during the campaign period. Sitting legislators led by Likoni Member of Parliament Mishi Mboko dismissed Deputy President William Ruto's intent to overturn the region's support for the ODM party.
You have supported someone for more than 3 elections. And if there's any opportunity that shows us this is a much more clearer chance, tutaenda wapi? Situmalize safari tumeanza.
Na ino kosti, by the way, it is a bedroom of Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Akiwa na kijana wake, kijana ambaye hatishutishwi, hatingishwi, kijana ambaye yuko focus na atakuwa katika meza mviringo. Siku 100 wataweza kuleta tena katiba, tuongeze constituents, tupate pesa zaidi, na Jo atakuwa among the 5. Kwani iko shida gani?
Shindaneni na sisi kwa mambo ya maendeleo. Shindaneni na sisi kwa mambo ambayo kwamba yataboresha maisha ya watu. Shindaneni na sisi mtuambie tulipeleka mswada huu katika bunge. Sio kila siku kuhadaa watu.
Wale wauda ama udaku walizunguka hapa na wameenda zao, hakuna lolote la maana walilaletea watu wa Mombasa. Mombasa is ODM na ODM is our business.
Juni Karisa Mbele for the Easy Friday from Mombasa County.
All right, and time for us to take a breather. We are back in not too long. Business is also on the way for your bit later sports. And on the spotlight tonight, Shiksha Arora speaks to Miss World Kenya 2021. All this on the other side of the break. Keep watching. My name is John Kago.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya Shujaa, bonyeza *811 *961 hash.
Siku ya Mashujaa, unamsherekea nani kama shujaa wako? Labda ni mzazi wako, ndugu au dada yako, rafiki au mpenzi wako. Ni nani ameboresha maisha yako hadi akawa shujaa wako?
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya Shujaa, bonyeza *811 *961 hash. *811 *961 hash.
Log on to the KBC website at www.kbc.co.ke to get the latest breaking news, entertainment, sports, politics, lifestyle or business trends from Kenya and around the world. Never miss new episodes from your favorite TV shows, reruns and movies. Just stream online or watch live on your YouTube channel at KBC Channel 1 TV shows. For the day's biggest stories, trustworthy news and family entertainment, log on to KBC Channel 1. Watch what you want anytime, anywhere.
let's talk about the importance of ensuring that you're disciplined, to a healthy lifestyle.
When it comes to diet, they say you are what you eat, and actually that's the truth of it. Because actually whatever you eat, it dictates your nutritional status.
Sometimes you may be very consistent and disciplined, but the results are not coming so fast. What should motivate me to keep going for 6 months, 8 months? I'm still, holding on to this. And most of the time, these foods are not so interesting.
When it comes to weight loss, you're not going away from the foods that you're used to. It is the same food that you're used to, but now you're eating with discipline.
What are you trying to tell the whole class? You better not have taken my pictures when I was trying to put on those boxes. I will slaughter you.
You want us to believe you carried fresh meat in a Kago?
You can believe what you want, my friend. If only you could study with such energy.
Stop interfering. We are not interested in your necessary details. Actually, we are not even interested on whose house you're going to destroy this.
Julia, you are very lucky. I don't want to spoil my nails because next time, where?
It was a wagon, his dad's wagon, the one that he drives on Thursdays.
How did you even know he drives a wagon on Thursdays? Women unpoking their noses.
Classmates, every Saturday on KBC.
All right, welcome back to Easy Friday. Let's round up news from the different counties. Police in Samburu have recovered a herd of 8 cattle stolen by bandits in Longewan, Samburu Central. Now, locals say a gang descended on a family in the area before driving the animals towards Samburu East. And as Jacqueline Masharia reports, a quick intervention by the police proved effective in repulsing the gang.
Samburu County Police Commander Samson Ogello says police in the region are on high alert following the incident. Ogello said coordination between locals and the police made a big difference recovering the stolen livestock.
Askari yetu walijaribu wakapambana vizuri na wakafanya kazi vizuri mpaka hizo ng'ombe 8 zikawa recovered.
Ogello called on communities living in the region to abandon retrogressive practices such as cattle rustling. Meanwhile, police in Shughuli village in Shinyalu have destroyed more than 40 liters of changa, 20,800 liters of molasses and 100 liters of alcohol impounded in the area. The officers gave a stern warning to suspects, saying illegal alcohol has contributed to many students dropping out of school.
Tumearrest watu kiasi na pombe tumemonga kwa wingi. Na tukaharibu zile apparatus ambazo zinatumika kwa kutengeneza hiyo pombe haramu.
Elsewhere, the Interfaith Network in Migori County has raised concern over hate and political temperatures in the country. The clergy accused leaders of abandoning development for early campaigns.
We want to appeal to all of us for peace because we are in the political market, because the election is just in the year 2022.
Finally, the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology is set to open a new branch in Budalangi constituency, Busia County. University Permanent Secretary Simon Nabukwesi said that admission as well as infrastructural development will begin early next year.
Early next year, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga will have been processed through with all the required documentation.
Jacqueline Masharia for Easy Friday.
For many years, the meter gauge railway line pierced the heart of Kenya, and in the process trade thrived as cargo and passenger services performed smoothly and efficiently. The railway transport sector played a big role in the growth of the Rift Valley, Nyanza and western regions of Kenya, traversing the country, offering reliable, efficient and a safe mode of transport for both freight and passengers. That's Kenya Railways. We are right on track.
Welcome back. It's good to have you as now we look at the latest in the world of business on this Easy Friday edition. My name is Carol Jenger. Now, bars and hotel owners want the government to turn entertainment sports into inoculation centers. The National Bar Owners Association says this will accelerate the vaccination exercise, which is still below the national target. The umbrella body has further welcomed the government's decision to extend operating hours for hotels, restaurants and pubs.
The COVID-19 vaccination exercise has been slow due to public apathy and logistical challenges, with only 5 million Kenyans so far vaccinated against a total target of 10 million by December. To bolster these efforts, bar and hotel owners say they are willing to partner with the government to have the vaccination centers held within their establishments.
The purpose and the spirit is the alcohol industry is determined to ensure that vaccination is taken in the highest level possible.
With the curfew lift and extended business hours, stakeholders in the entertainment sector are a hopeful lot, expressing confidence that the ongoing vaccination program will boost tourist numbers and accelerate economic recovery.
Will not recover at once. It will take us 10 years for us to recover. But there is hope. There is a glimpse of hope for the children whom were highly talented, and we relieve them because we had no option. There is a glimpse of hope because with more operational hours, we will admit more into the bar.
Regina Manyara reporting for Easy Friday.
We now look at the housing sector, and the Pangani Affordable Housing Project is now 55% complete, with the handover date slated for May 2022. The project, which is a partnership between Nairobi County and the Technof in Kenya Limited, will see the construction of more than 1,500 one- and two-bedroom housing units. The project's contractor, Mace YMR, says despite challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, the project will be complete on schedule.
The Pangani Affordable Housing Project is part of 8 residential estates offered by the Nairobi City County for redevelopment through private-public partnership. Launched in May last year, the project is part of 2 housing sites that have so far broken ground. The other is the Jivanji Bachelor's Quarter in Gara. The housing project sits on 5.2 acres and it is expected to deliver 128 one-bedroom houses, 248 two-bedroom houses and 576 three-bedroom units under the affordable housing projects.
There was a bit of slow in terms of picking up because that time people were scared. You find offices were closed. That was the time that the hype about or the work at home was at its peak. But you find in a construction site, really it's not practical to work from home because you have to put up the building here. We have been fortunate because we haven't had COVID cases on site. We have been operational since May last year non-stop. And I think program-wise, we have not been affected.
According to Mace YMR project manager Felix Ochieng, the project is using new technology that allows the construction of 1 floor per week to ensure faster delivery of the project and ensure the project sticks to agreed timelines.
One of the major lessons we've learned is that the government needs partners, because for a huge project like this and for something that you need to think out of the box, I think you need people who are ready to take that risk, people who are ready to take that step, and who are ready to think out of the box to give the kind of products that you can see here at Pangani. Because, for example, what we are giving out as affordable houses, when you actually go into that house, it's the same kind of quality that you're going to find in Kileleshwa, that you're going to find in Upmarket Nairobi. What you get at Pangani is actually a solution to the housing problem. And the more of these that we can have, the more people we can have who are decently housed and not having to pay rent or to struggle.
The project contractor, Technofin, plans to add another 610 three-bedroom duplexes, which are priced at 9 million shillings. Prospective buyers are supposed to pay a 40% deposit with a payment schedule of 3 years. The affordable units are already completed, with the contractors putting final touches on the 17-story Pangani housing block. The units will be handed over to owners in May next year. The total project is priced at 7 billion shillings, which has been sourced through private debt arrangements. O'Brien Kimani for Primetime News.
Well, we can only hope that this project will be complete on time, as this will bring us close to the housing deficit gap that is existing in the country. Now, moving on to the tea subsector, where tea prices hit a high of 333 shillings per kilo last week, as the government intensified reforms in the subsector. Despite a 9% drop in production, earnings were cushioned by the improved tea prices at KTDA managed factories. Tea production dropped to 55 million kilos in July to September period, compared to 60 million kilos for a similar period last year.
In the last 2 years, the government has carried out major reforms in the tea subsector aimed at improving prices and production. The reforms have seen a total overhaul of Kenya Tea Development Agency, management and shareholding, while the Ministry of Agriculture has set a minimum reserve price of 250 shillings per kilo of tea. KTDA says despite a dip in productions, earnings to farmers have remained high in the last quarter, as the average price of tea reached all-time high of 333 shillings mid this month. The agency says production is expected to improve following the allocation of 1 billion shillings for subsidized fertilizer by the government on Wednesday. During his Mashujaa Day speech, President Uhuru Kenyatta directed National Treasury to allocate tea subsector 1 billion shillings to help procure subsidized fertilizer to be distributed to tea farmers in the country. KTDA says production will further be boosted by Kenya's directive aimed at lowering the cost of tea farming inputs. The tea agency says so far it has imported and distributed a total of 65,000 tons of fertilizer, while an additional 21,000 tons were produced locally to bridge the shortfall between the required volumes and that which was imported.
Kenya is optimistic of a major rebound in economic activities in the remaining part of the year. Their positive sentiments are premised on the reopening of the economy, improving vaccination numbers and recovery in the global economy. According to the KPMG East Africa CEO Outlook, 82% of company chiefs are positive about 2021 economic growth prospects, compared to only 32% mid last year. Globally, companies continue to exhibit resilience by formulating strategies to address the dynamic economic circumstances presented by the pandemic. Most firms adopted remote working as part of their business continuity strategy. Although businesses continue to operate in uncertain times, 82% of the chief executive offices in the East African region are confident about the growth prospects of their economies and their operating environment. According to the 2021 KPMG East Africa CEO Outlook survey, most of the CEOs in East Africa are considering strategic alliances with third parties, mergers and acquisitions to drive growth, while diversifying sources and locations of input to strengthen their supply chains for business resilience. The captains of industry interviewed, however, say the biggest risk they face in growing the organization include emerging and/or disruptive technology at 32%, supply chain risk at 15%, and cybersecurity risk at 10%. Supply chains risk remain a major threat for companies in East Africa, with 74% of the CEOs noting that their supply chains have been under increasing stress over the past 18 months. Well, and that is all we had lined up for you from the business desk. But before I go, I will leave you with the foreign market report as well as the NSC report. My name is Carol Jenger. Have a good night. See you next week for more business news.
Holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority on or before November 1st, 2021. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.holders.ufaa.go.ke and get started. Beat the November 1st, 2021 deadline. It's your turn. Pass the baton. Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority. Receive, safeguard, reunite.
Peter, I've loved you from day one when it was even close to impossible for me.
I didn't ask for you to love me. Respect, Christine.
And it seems you have a lot of savings then.
Me, I'm a baby girl. I deserve soft life. Si lazima ikuwe pesa yangu.
Mimi na wewe mambo ya kesi tustahili kuongea.
Si sana kindani, kidogo kidogo tu.
Kwa koti tutakutana huko.
Kwa nani?
Ni Mark.
Wow. Stop asking questions.
Hello, Christine. Christine, what's wrong?
We need to fire Lawrence.
She's in the living room.
You need to know which side you're on. You need to open your eyes and know which side you're on, okay?
Tonight I'm holding brief in the sports desk, and the national women's soccer team Harambee Starlets will face South Sudan tomorrow in their Africa Women's Cup of Nations qualifiers return leg match. This is happening at Nyayo National Stadium. If you remember, Harambee Starlets humbled the Bright Starlets of South Sudan by 8-0 in the first leg. I almost made a mistake there by saying Harambee. It's a Starlets. When's the last time Harambee Stars scored 8 goals against the team? Here's the report up next.
Harambee Starlets, under the tutelage of Charles Okere, have their eyes set on the second round after a comfortable win in the first leg. Starlets humbled Bright Starlets of South Sudan 8-0, courtesy of goals from Ulinzi Starlets striker Nedia Tieno, Mwana Alima Adam, and Gentry Shikangwa. The return leg now appears as a formality as Kenya targets to make a second appearance at the Africa Women's Cup of Nations. The 2022 Africa Women's Cup of Nations will act as a qualifier for the FIFA Women's World Cup that will be co-hosted by New Zealand and Australia in July 2023. Meanwhile, South Sudan Bright Starlets held their final training session Friday at the Nyayo National Stadium. South Sudan will be aiming to make amends after a disappointing outing in the first leg.
Let them know that we are turning in tomorrow like it won't be the one of the other day. So we are going to do better tomorrow. Let them not underrate us as how we are, but we are still going to come up.
Like I said, if we can bring the pressure on them down and make them just enjoy the game, then I think we will see a much better game for the second one.
The return leg will be played at the Nyayo National Stadium after South Sudan opted to play the match in Nairobi rather than Juba, South Sudan.
KSB emerged victorious after humbling Narok men 7-5 to win the men's final at the National Goalball Championship held at the Kasarani Stadium Indoor Gymnasium. The championship was used to select a team that will represent Kenya at the Africa Goalball Championship in Ghana.
The association kicked off the national qualifier yesterday at the Kasarani Stadium Indoor Gymnasium, with teams from all over the country participating, hoping to make the Kenyan team that is set to travel to Ghana for the African Golf Ball Championship.
Kenya, we have had several international performances. Basically, in 2014, they went to Port Said in Egypt. That was the first exposure for the Golf Ball team. And that one they did not perform very well because it was their first exposure.
Kulikuwa na challenges kidogo kwa sababu kuna nyako na injury, kama huyo alikuwa na injury ya mikono, kuna mwingine pia ako na injury ya magoti, lakini tumengangana na tukawa tumeshinda.
KSB humbled Narok men 7-5 to win the men's final.
The Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Culture and Heritage, Ambassador Dr. Amina Mohamed, has congratulated Cricket Kenya stakeholders for participating in the validation of the Cricket Kenya Constitution in a hybrid stakeholders forum held earlier today and attended by over 100 stakeholders. Now, she has also thanked the Normalization Committee for the commitment, hard work and focus that led to the success.
The validation meeting, which was called by the Cricket Normalization Committee, followed a rigorous process to draft a new constitution for the troubled Kenya Cricket Governing Body. The chairperson of the committee, Honorable Lady Justice Joyce Oluoch, hailed the occasion as a huge milestone for the cricket lovers and stakeholders in the country.
We have given it all that we could. We've given it attention with a lot of passion. And I want to assure you that the points that have come up, what you have raised, that's why the Constitution is being adopted with amendments.
Oluoch added that the committee worked tirelessly to ensure the game returns to normalcy in the local arena. His words were echoed by the International Cricket Council representative Dr. Tavegwa Mukhulani, who said that getting Kenya, a sleeping giant, back to her glory days was all the world has been waiting for.
To come to this point where you are able to validate this constitution and for it to be adopted with amendments, it's a job well done. So congratulations to all the stakeholders, a job well done.
The committee, composed of Justice Oluoch, Judge Justice Al-Nashir Vishram, Mrs. Jen Mwingai, Engineer Morris Aluanga and Dr. Walter Ogeti, who have since overseen the return of the cricket leagues and competition. Daniel Mwendwa, Sports.
All right, and there's lots happening in the weekend, especially in the English Premier League. Arsenal are playing tonight. Well, they could get to the top 10 position tonight if they win. The match that starts in about 14 minutes, and more action in the English Premier League. Here is the Weekend Sports Diary. All right, there it's time to wrap it up on the Easy Friday. My good friend, my best friend, Mr. Sam, his team is playing tomorrow against Brighton. He supports Manchester City, but the big one is Sunday when the rivals Manchester United are up against the Liverpool. That's on Sunday. A good one at that. Many thanks indeed for keeping us company. This has been Easy Friday. I've been riding solo, as I mentioned, as for the part of the bulletin. Shiksha Arora is coming up next. That's on the spotlight. Tonight, she speaks to Miss World Kenya 2021, Sharon Obara. Now, Sharon Obara will be competing for the Miss World crown in December. It's an interesting conversation that you need to watch right after this. On behalf of the team and as we continue to take you through the spotlight, my name is John Kago. See you back next week. That's on Friday. Good night, so long. Our sign language interpreter has been Susan Thuku. So long.
It's a Monday, but I'm on a Friday vibe. Tuesday, but I'm on a Friday vibe. Tis a chini. Tis a chini. Wednesday, but I'm on a Friday vibe. It's a Thursday, but I'm on a Friday.
I need a queen, kumsima. Goma lapa moko, swaipima. Nakamusha nisoma mpango mzima. Ngili goma lapa moko. Nasema, alibagui mtoto mtu mzima. Goma lapa moko, swaipima. Nakamusha nisoma mpango mzima. Ngili goma lapa moko. Linavyokwenda, na unakwenda. Twende nalo, goma lisha jiachia. Twende nalo, linavyokwenda, na unakwenda. Twende nalo, goma lisha jiachia. Twende nalo, melisha ngoa nanga. Basi fanya hima usiwachwe nyuma. Muge bade la kasnega. Twende nalo, golololo. Twende nalo, usihate twende nalo. Twende nalo, muge bade la kasnega. Twende nalo, golololo. Twende nalo, usihate twende nalo. Wewe kutoka sando marashi, nusia ka aroma. So take it slow, don't rush it. Anza na kangoma. Miliko this, miliko that. Supu wa pweza na mshikaki. Permende kende, liki that. You better know. Mkomi ya roboy. Niko na kashamba uko paradise.